The first question I had was, why do we fundraise? And in general, the answer is like money, right?
Okay.
Like that's why we fundraise. But like that's wrong. Like this is why we fundraise.
I feel like you just played with my emotions.
You're welcome.
That was a trap.
Thank you. I did that on purpose. But this is why we fundraise. And you guys have all been there, so I don't have to explain. But the money part is what is fundraising. So money is the what, but the why is the mission statement. Why we do what we do, why we raise money. So, do you want to read this because I don't know either.
Yeah, Marafiki Africa empowers entrepreneurs and elevates the families, communities, and nations of Africa by providing hands-on training and mentoring for aspiring business owners and developing communities in terms of health, education, and economic stability.
So that's really why we fundraise. So that's why this is important. And without it, this right here, whoops, back, like this right here won't continue. I mean, it will, but it won't be what it needs to be. So that's why it's important. We'll just go up here. So then the question comes, where do we get our money? And right now we just get it from participants, basically.
98%.
96%. So something interesting is that one, that was not the font I chose for the 75%, but the other interesting fact is that 75% of all money for nonprofits is through individuals, not through corporations, it's individuals donating their money, and that doesn't include endowments, which are individuals as well. That's on tape. Okay, I was like, what's that noise? Is that something on Germany? So that's kind of where the focus needs to be, is on individuals. But it's a matter of finding the right individuals, and how you find them, and how you get the money from them, and how you ask them, and how you treat them is kind of where the real questions lie. So I will be searching with corporations, with grants, with endowments. However, this is where the focus has to be especially for the board and for any other volunteer. So a quote about fundraising is, Rachel, want to read it?
I do, I really
Thanks.
do.
Okay.
People don't give to causes, they give to people.
And that's the one thing is, in general, when asked why people give money, they say, oh, I knew somebody here, or I was asked. And those are the two biggest factors as to why people give money, is that they're asked and that they know someone. So kind of to delve into that a little bit more is what's called the 3 C's. So people will donate if they meet these 3 C's. The first is connection. So they're somehow linked to the organization, like knowing someone, yada, yada, yada. Capacity, they have money to give. If they don't give money, then they give time. If they don't give time, then they give, like there's a variety of things they can give, but capacity, they have to have the capacity to give something. And then concern is the interest in the cause. And so that is, those are the 3 things that they need to meet. Do you guys have any questions about those 3?
No. Makes sense.
And so it's a matter of identifying those who meet those 3. Who have a connection, who have concern, and who have the capacity. So, this is where we go. And no, I did not draw the target, but I like it. So what you want to focus on I'm just gonna stand because I don't like that. What you want to focus on is the people that are in like the closest part of your organization. We're called the inner constituencies. They're the people that are involved right now, like you and me. And the inner constituencies are, us, people that just went to Africa, volunteers. That's where those are. Kindred souls are the ones that aren't connected but recently were connected. So like that would be like alumni from 5 years ago, or like it says here, your mom, or like the people that know about the cause because of what you've done. Mm-hmm. And the outer circle is those with a similar purpose but aren't connected, such as other nonprofits that advocate for the same thing, or like any business in Tanzania, or international businesses even, those kind of things. And so what you want to do is focus on the inner constituencies and then go out, because those are the people that have connection and concern. And then everybody has the capacity to give something, is my argument. Other people would say different, but I think that everybody can give something. So that's kind of how we made a fundraising plan for the year. And so the next slides are kind of like the fundraising plan that we've made. And then it kind of builds off of that. So, yeah. And again, this is just my brainstorm, and Jake's brainstorm and yours. You threw in some ideas. It's just like our plan right now, but it's up to change if there's certain concerns or issues or more opportunities, better opportunities raised. But this is the plan for right now. So the first was we had to find those target audiences, those inner constituencies that fit the organization, and then the kindred souls. Have a plan of attack toward that audience, and then have a goal with that audience. So the first is the board of directors, but because that's the most involved, most central, but that's at the end.
Okay.
I decided to kind of like touch on it, but really touch on it later.
Okay.
And then the alumni. So the alumni, to me, are your inner constituencies, along with the board. I think they're all in that same area, especially since it hasn't been around that long. Everybody's been involved recently. So we have 5 tasks right now. The first one is to create the alumni database. So we have like different ones from different years, but we're going to consolidate them, put them all in a thing, and then like another column will be what session they attended and stuff like that, what year, times contacted, things like that. If they donated, how much, and it'll kind of be like a record that tracks the alumni. And then asking the volunteers if they want to volunteer, or the alumni, if they want to volunteer 10 hours to Marfiki. And if so, what capacities they would feel comfortable giving. Like, I know my roommate, I told her that I was in charge of fundraising. My roommate went to Africa a couple years last year. And she's like, anything like you want help with? Like, I'd love to be involved. I just don't know what to do. I don't have a skill set for it. So that's kind of like she's like willing to go ask people for money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? She just doesn't know how or what approach to take with it, kind of thing. An idea I threw out there was having group chats with the alumni to keep them thinking about Africa, keep them in touch with people in Africa, because the more involved you are with it, the more you're thinking about it, the more likely you are to donate. Because it's current on your mind instead of a past awesome thing that you did once. The fourth one is have alumni events where they're asked to donate, such as we're having the videos come out. I'd like to have like a video release party where you get the alumni together, you watch it all together, you can all reminisce about the good old times, and then you let them know ahead of time, like, just so you know, we will be asking to donate because you don't want to surprise it on them. And then you have a way to collect money there, whether it's cash only, whether you have like a credit card thing that slides in your phone and they can like donate whatever they want. Those kind of things with alumni. Also, Craig said he was coming out in February in Africa. I don't know if that's like full on still, but he mentioned like we'll have a party in February when I come out.
Okay.
I'm hoping that's happening because I know everybody wants to see Craig, and I think we could turn that into like a pretty cool party and get some money out of it. Have video release parties. I already mentioned that. So those are just kind of like throwing out ideas. Do you guys have any specific ideas with alumni that you feel like would really be beneficial? Or any concerns or anything?
Well, I just know for the interns this semester, we were gonna have them like come up with ideas and like we'll see if like they can think of anything, and we were gonna have them like plan like an alumni event or help with that. So sweet. So yeah, so like I could do that.
Oh man, stop it! Great job. What were you gonna say?
We've talked about marketing emails. We have a marketing email campaign software that we're already paying for, and we've got a couple month long campaign for applicants and pre-applicants, but we don't have anything for alumni, and I've had that on my list for a while. So writing those emails is kind of the challenge. It takes a while to write those, but I think that's a great. Well, I mean, it's once the email's written, it's effortless because we set it to go on a timer, and once you put the email in, it does it itself.
Right.
So that's easy. And then the other thing is when for the business program, it's really easy to, as we get updates from Filbert, send them along. And that was kind of our major way to engage people. And this is our first year doing that, so we'll see how it goes. But I think that'll be powerful. I know a lot of people are excited and waiting anxiously for updates.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Rex and Tessa, and we were talking about that day we got more pictures. And we're like, "Did you see the pictures? I saw the pictures." It's like Christmas every time. So yeah. I know. And then, sorry, Jake, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Yes, two short things. One, I think it would be super easy for us to create a Venmo account for RFP. That we put next to any of our, we link it with all of our emails, all of our promotional activities, just with it says, donates are always welcome, Venmo, and then our handles,
Yeah.
That doesn't hurt anybody, and it's constantly open to opportunity for people to donate.
I think the key here is monthly donations, like automated donations. Like if you think if we had our alumni, we've got almost 200 alumni, right? And if they were each just doing $1 a month, then that'd be $200 a month. So it's, and if it were $5 a month, who wouldn't be willing to do $30 a year?
Yeah.
Granted, 3 of those dollars would.
I would say it takes some out.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 of those dollars would be in fees, but yeah, I think that's what we ought to push is, could you do $1 a month?
I think $1 is too low.
Or $5
I think we should do
I think we can do like 5 to 10, if not 20. Depending on the
It
alumni.
depends on the person. Yeah, I think the students, they wouldn't be like super keen on signing up for $20 a month because that sounds like a lot. But like
But they do 5. I mean, that's fast offerings.
Yeah.
Like, who wouldn't?
We'll tell them to pay us instead of fast offerings.
I don't know. Yeah. And I kind of go over some numbers later on that kind of give an idea as to monetary stuff and how to, I don't know, how much we have to do. And then my goal with the alumni, I thought about putting a specific dollar on it, but I don't really, I don't know, it just didn't seem right. And maybe I'll put another goal, which will have a specific dollar amount or like a specific number of volunteer hours. But right now the goal is to help them remember, as Craig talked about, just remembering what Africa was and like what we learned there. Because I think when that's on their mind, they're going to be most likely to donate and to advocate for it. Did you say you had one more thing, Jake?
I do not.
Okay. Okay. Anything else about this one before I move on?
Well, now may not be the time to talk about it, but we got to put people behind each of these, assigned people to take care of these, make sure they get done.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote everything with the idea that I would be able to handle it.
Oh, okay.
Not everything. I mean, I might have a couple things I sent out, like group chats. That was one that I was like, that one would be more rough. But in general, I spaced the timelines and the deadlines in a way that I feel like I could accomplish most of the tasks. Just so you know.
That's awesome.
So the next one is events. With Giving Tuesday. So Giving Tuesday, if you don't know what that is, it's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving is a national day of donating. It's corporations are donating because it's the end of the year, tax write-offs. Individuals are donating for the same reason. And it's just kind of like a really big day. So I was involved with the campaign for Giving Tuesday last year. And I have some stuff from them on the upcoming slides, just to kind of get an idea of like what we did, how we approached it, but I'd be fine with approaching it a different way. But this is kind of the outline I have for Giving Tuesday, is that we get an organized team to head this class, a team of 3 to 5 volunteers. So not February, I wrote the wrong month. That's supposed to say September. I'm going to write down that I'm going to change that. 17. So I talked to Brad and Tyler.
Yeah.
And Tyler said he only teaches in the winter. So we're welcome for people, but that won't be till winter. I talked to Brad. And so there's a fundraising specific class on campus where they have to do 10 hours with a nonprofit doing fundraising as a requirement. And so me or somebody else will go to this class and present really shortly on Marafiki, and then you leave that day with a list of 5 people that are signed up, 3 to 5 people that are signed up to help your organization. And you're required to do 10, I think it was 10 hours, it might have been 20. But I was going to get 3 to 5 from there for Giving Tuesday. And the one stipulation Brad had was that we don't ask them to look for corporations, and we don't ask them to ask people for money, which was kind of ironic because that's all they asked me to do last year. So they didn't really follow the protocol. But I think if they do all the background work, then I think it would still be worth it.
Okay.
So the first thing is we, not the team, need to find a corporation match for that day. So with the one I worked with, they had a corporation that would match up to $5,000 worth of donations. So whatever was donated, they matched dollar for dollar up to $5,000.
Okay.
So that's probably one of the biggest things to get on for that. Then the next one is that this team will organize all correspondence with alumni and the board for social media and goal setting. And then they'll hold the small celebrations throughout the day when goals are met. And they'll write handwritten thank you notes to all donors. So the goal for that day is $15,000. Because if we can get one corporation match $5,000, then we only have to raise $10,000. And I think it's possible. I think this is like where we aim with alumni, is having them give on a day where their dollar counts for two, and making sure we have a corporation lined up. And we really, we might ask them in advance, but I really think having them when it's a time when we can get someone to match, it makes our dollar go further. And if we can get two to match, then we only have to raise $5,000 that day to hit the goal. So just a quick slide. So this is kind of how they organized it. I would do it similar but different. So every time they hit a thing, they repost their cover picture on their Facebook page. So this was their cover picture on their Facebook page. If they hit 3,000, they had a picture to put up. They hit 5, they had a picture. And it just updated all day, and it just got bigger and bigger. The thing that I would do instead of what they did, yes, I'd have an activity with hitting the goals, but I'd have your specific things. If we hit 4,000, we've raised enough for this. If we hit 10,000, we've raised enough for this and this. So I would have more specific goals on that, because then you know what you've raised. And so this is the big one for me. I have the total annual goal that I have from individuals, and this is majority of it.
Okay.
Sorry. Is there anything about events or Giving Tuesday that we want to talk about before I move on?
It looks awesome so far.
Do we know when we could have interest at our disposal?
Interns? Is that what we said?
Fundraising interns or on-campus interns?
Are we going to have any of our on-campus interns do fundraising? Or are we just relying?
I don't think so. We didn't really advertise that at all, right?
We advertised for them to do to handle more social media and events and planning events and different things. And I think we could have them do fundraising, but I would have them do it more as researching different fundraising options, or brainstorming, use them as sort of more heads to think of more ways or possibilities, and see if they have good ideas, and then have us carry it through, because I think it's an important thing that I wouldn't necessarily, I would have them help with pieces of it, but we also didn't advertise for the ones who were signing up for it as fundraising, so have them come in and have them only do fundraising would be against what we told them to do for the class. But I think we could definitely have them research stuff or come up with ideas, or whole brainstorms and stuff like that to see. And they can help. I mean, I was gonna have them help plan events as well.
Okay.
So we can have them behind the scenes as well,
doing that,
helping out with these sorts of things in that kind of stuff.
And I know. So are you talking about the interns you already have? Because I know that in all of Brad's classes, he would pass around lists of internship availabilities, and then people would sign up. So if we wanted a fundraising one, we could put it in the fundraising or grant writing class or his intro class, and just say we have an unpaid internship, and get them to write down their names. And then
I think that'd be really good.
And then if they're not one that we already have, we might be able to target them toward fundraising. Is that within the bounds or stuff? Okay. So that was kind of along the lines. So I would say, Jake, I will go the first week of class, 2 weeks of class, whenever he'll let me, as soon as possible in his classes to announce it. And I think that is probably as soon as we can get it. So I'd say mid-September.
This is also further down the road, but I feel I like the whole like having a day thing, and I feel like we should push for that again in like December around Christmas time when everyone's like more happy, more willing. You know, you just like feeling the Christmas spirit. Maybe they like got bonuses that year, or like they'd be more likely. Like Christmas is the time that I think as well. Like I know that's why they don't have enough passions, but if we like wanted to plan something similar to that for
I like that.
giving months.
We could have Christmas in Africa.
Yeah.
Can we please and eat, what?
Chapati.
That's it. That's what I wanted.
And
And what is it? Fire tea? Is that what we called it?
Yeah. So spicy.
Yeah, that's right.
That was good when she added cocoa to it. But what is
I
it?
seriously been wanting to like drink that so bad. Like just mix it with the chocolate. Anyway, anything else about either of these?
I'll be in Africa in September.
Okay.
September 19th, I think I fly out. So September 19th through October 13th, I think.
Through October 13th?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
So, if there's any footage we need, Babu's coming with me. So he could take footage.
Such a good man.
And so anyway, just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, heck, we could have kids at the at Njodo Primary School or Secondary School on video saying thanks for your donations, BYU students, or
Yes.
something like that.
I'm a fan.
We can show the school that's not finished yet.
Okay, I'm gonna write down like a brainstorm list of African motivation.
Oh, you guys haven't seen it with the roof on. So the roof is on the school.
Oh, cool.
The one that where like we went to the kids and played with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
That was like such.
We paid for
about that experience.
the metal sheets.
Oh, that's
Oh, the ones that we took a picture with. I thought it was for lighting. I'm not gonna lie. At first, and then I realized. Like the professional photography.
Morgan's gonna love that.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that's
sweet.
awesome. I think that's such a good
It was so good, and yeah, it was a blast. And so what they had us do, they had us there with them. Anyway, that day we were actually able to raise $22,000. However, none of the participants pay anything, and so it's a little bit easier to raise money because everything's free. So their alumni has never paid anything. Anyway, that doesn't mean that ours wouldn't be willing, but second plan, or the next thing is businesses. So at the first video release party and via email for those who aren't in attendance, like if they know of people or corporations who would be willing to donate, and not just like not just people on this one, but people who are higher up in a corporation. Like somebody's dad runs some big business that we didn't know about, and they'd be willing to match. Because that's really how we're going to fund it. I've asked where I work before, and they've told me no. So it's really about asking the right people. So I think we have to go with whoever's been in contact with Marfiki that's high up in a corporation. And I guarantee with 200 alumni, you've got somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
And also, so I talked to one of my professors, I don't remember him, but they were telling me how new businesses get into a community. So they have to meet with the councilman, tell them about their business and all this stuff, and they have to approve of it. And lots of times they have to say, like, we're going to give back to the community this much. And then usually the city councilman gives them a list of nonprofits to donate to. So I'm going to see if we can get in touch with the city councilman, and just say, like, here's our list, here's Marafiki, and we want to be on your list for new organizations as a place for them to donate. I don't know if anything would come from that, but it was an idea that someone threw out, so I thought it was worthwhile. And then the goal for this is to get at least one match for Giving Tuesday by the end of October, so that we know a month in advance. So as we're promoting it the whole month of November, we're able to say that it'll be matched dollar for dollar. And the sooner the better on that one.
Okay.
And that one, the businesses, that's gonna be,
That's a beast.
that's gonna need help. That's not gonna be something that I'm able to do on my own. It's gonna be a matter of everybody trying to find something. So after that is grants. So this was more my list of stuff to do with grants. Like, I want to meet with you. You have a list of grants. I want to talk to Holly.
Heidi.
Heidi. I knew it started with the H, and I know it was wrong. And talk to her about her grant process and stuff like that. I am having dinner next week with an old Bishopric member who thinks I walk on water, and not about the grant, but he wanted to hear about my travels, and he just set up a foundation. So I don't know what his requirements for his foundation are, but I have dinner with him next week with him and his wife. So I'm going to bring it up in the best way possible. And then another option is there is a grant writing class. / there's Brad's classes as well, where we could get somebody who would just work on grants if we wanted. They could be the initial writer or whatever, and we could do all the follow-up work, or they could be the one that corrects grammatically, and we could actually get somebody from the English department. Those kind of things for grants.
Yeah.
And then the goal is to receive one grant this year. Grants are pretty hard. So, any thoughts, concerns with grants?
That looks good.
Okay. Next, other nonprofits. Identify other nonprofits who we could potentially meet / partner with. See if there's a way to unify our efforts and our funds. Just to maximize time and effort. So, I used to volunteer with the Academy for Creative Enterprise, and they teach business to return missionaries in third world countries, like Mexico and Peru and Philippines. And they have stuff set up there. Also, the LDS Church often donates to nonprofits that are for their cause. And so there's a potential for getting money from the LDS Church to go toward our cause. Things like that. I don't know. It's just yeah. I don't know if there are any others. I have no idea. What are your thoughts about this one?
I think it's great. It'd be interesting to work with another organization for our impact. It'd be interesting. We haven't done it before.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if it's just we just talk to them and figure out how they're doing it and identify the same routes. I don't really know how much overlapping there would be, but just that lots of times the path that you want to pave is already paved, and if you ask, then you know the whole outline.
Yeah, for sure.
And then in-kind donations. So I know we have that list of budget stuff, but any assets that we need, and identify places where we could get it. All of our medical supplies, I guarantee people would be willing to donate those, so we don't have to buy them. Things like that. I think we could get our assets without spending a lot of them. It just has to be done in advance. And then other individuals, Jake threw out mission presidents that were over Tanzania, asking them for money, because usually mission presidents are rich, and these guys have a tie to the area. Things like that, just thinking of other people that have the capacity, connection, and concern outside of the ones we've identified. So, so the last section is kind of going back to this circle, and then like applying this to not tomorrow 50, but your life. So in your life, who are the people who you're currently involved with? Who are those who like you were involved with that you're not involved with? And who are those that like all accountants, I guess, would fit in the last one for me because they're like similar to something, but I don't know them really. This is gonna happen if everyone was here. You guys are welcome to like take part in it. But right now, at least 5 people who you would ask to donate to Murphy just because they care about you. Like 5 of those in our constituencies that care so much about you that they would be willing to donate to what you're involved in. Because like that one quote said, like people donate to people, not to causes in general. One thing that's super important, and my professor talked about how it's one of the biggest mistakes of fundraisers, is having the wrong person do the ask. I like having the fundraiser do all the asking. It's those who have a connection with that person who should do the ask. Because lots of times we're so afraid to ask those closest to us, so we're afraid it'll like damage our relationship with them. But in reality, like we're in a relationship to help each other. And to like lift each other up, and if they asked you for money, you'd be willing to do it. And so there's no reason not to utilize the assets you have. So how do you ask? These are written in order of effectiveness for raising money. Face-to-face, small group, telephone, handwritten letter, typed letter, email. And then it goes on to like larger groups or different things like that. So face-to-face is the most effective because it pays quickly, it builds relationships, and it's gratifying for solicitors. I mean, you're going to get told no, but when you're told yes, it's worth 30 no's. And so there are 3 things that you should include in every ask. So there's the pitch, like the why. This was amazing. After you show them all your pictures, because you're like, hey, like, how was that? I heard you went. Oh, well, let me show you how it went. Da-da-da-da. Actually, like, we're raising money this week. Blah, 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 blah. So you ask them specifically for a certain price, and then you have them write down on a pledge card how much they're going to donate and when. So this is something that I would use for Giving Tuesday. And have them write down that on November 29th, they're going to donate this much. And then we tell them, like, okay, we're going to send you an email reminding you of what you've pledged to do. Because just holding them accountable, it's not telling them what to do. Because it's all by their choice, not ours. So that is how you ask. And here's the numbers. So these are statistics that my professor drew out. So my goal is to raise $25,000 through individuals. If a pledge is $20, then you take $25,000 divided by 20. We need 1,250 donations during the year. If we end up, like the average is that for every 5 people someone asks, 2 of them will donate. So if I want to ask, so that means to get 1,250 donations, we have to ask 3,125 people. And if we have 1 person that asks, like every 1 person does 5 asks, then we need 625 people asking, which we don't have. So, you didn't. So this is when I talk about the board. So this is kind of the biggest thing. Boards in general, nonprofit boards, are in charge of goal setting and fundraising. They are the main avenues for fundraising themselves and the people that they're in contact with. They're the ones that go to their cronies, say, hey, Holmes, give money. And so that's kind of the angle that has to be taken with the board. Even though we don't have any cronies that are rich CEOs quite yet that are our friends, we have people that can donate. So the first one is, like, as a board of director, you're expected to donate as much as you can with a minimum of $50. And then at the first of the month, or at the first month of each fiscal year, which is August, I'll reach out to you for your donation. To every board member, because then the money is at the beginning of the year and can be utilized instead of collecting it at a different time when it can't be utilized. And then, like I said, like, boards are a primary source of fundraising, like, not your wallet. I mean, it can be, like, feel free to donate as much as you want, but, like, it's really your friends, your families, your coworkers, your professors that you have a bond with, those people, that your ward members. Y'all live in Utah. There are rich people in every ward. Or on every street. Okay. And then each of you has specific things you're over, like so-and-so board members over marketing or operations or, like, different roles. But fundraising is a responsibility that everyone has to take. So everyone will be asking and obtaining donations. So my goal for the board of directors is 300 face-to-face asks by the board this year, which is less than 2 people a month. Which in reality isn't that many. And that takes care of half of this goal. Then if we get a few interns who help organize events, and we do the alumni through face-to-face, I think we can get 625 people asking. Well, no. We need to get 3,125 asks.
Yeah.
But that's 300 of them by the board. So, I mean, this is a proposal, of course, not an absolute. But what I would like to do is I would actually like to follow up with each board member monthly to see if they are asking people, or if, like, they're planning on doing it all for Giving Tuesday, and they have a list of people that are going to ask, or whatever is allowable, in order to make sure that each board member is out there helping Murphy find money outside of participants. So that, there's a little bit more, but are there any questions as far as, like, well, I didn't stop for a while. But I guess specifically right now for the board.
Well, they need to see this,
Yes.
but we'll send the video out. I think this is great.
I didn't want to.
It's important too. I would imagine everyone's a little scared. I mean, I'm scared. I'm a little scared. But I'm also ready to be bold. So hopefully the rest of the board is also at least ready to be bold.
Twice a month.
Yeah.
It's bold twice a month. Like, every other week, you've got to summon up some courage. That's it. 5 seconds of courage twice a month. Isn't there, like, a quote about, like, 5 seconds of courage or something? Like,
There is now.
I'm gonna look it up after, and then you'll be surprised. So I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to do the face-to-face asks or the corporate asks, right? With the last one, like Giving Tuesday, when I did that. So what we did was, when I went to my Thanksgiving deal, I was like, hey, family, like, I have an announcement. Like, I know every Christmas you guys give to a cause. I would ask that you give this year to your cause, to Camp Kesson. And I explained what it was. And then I asked if I could send out an email reminding them all just about it, not necessarily that they had to donate. Because it was in a large group setting and it wasn't one-on-one. And then I asked my family, and then my Grammy was not going to donate, and I was pretty pissed, to be honest. I was so mad. I was like, what the heck? Like, no, because you can see who donates on this one, and I was watching it all day, and I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me right now? So I'm like, fine, and I called my brother, and I was like, hey, are you gonna donate? And he's like, yeah, I actually am. I was just about to get on. So he donated, and I sent him like this long text that was like, yeah, that's amazing, brother, da, da, da. But then on the other side of the family, I just sent out, I was like, hey, I'm doing a fundraising thing. Would it be okay if I sent you information about it? Some of them said yes, some of them said no. But I ended up getting more from that reach out than the large group, which I thought was interesting. Which is actually on that list that emails are before large group. Anyway, so my Grammy wasn't going to donate. She's like, well, okay. So I was like, please, you have enough money. So I went over there, and it was like at the end of the day, she's like, how's your day, man? I'm like, it's good. Like, I still have to go to like the last event for that fundraising thing that I told you guys about. She's like, I'm so sorry we couldn't donate. I'm like, it's okay. Like, it's just like, I just really want these kids to be able to go to camp and to be able to do this, and like, I really think it's important for them, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, but then she ended up giving me $25, and I told her how it was matched, and that was actually what got her to donate. And it was for a cause that I'm not even tied to. And I'm not saying like I'm like successful and people give me money, because that's not the case. But it is kind of scary, but it didn't damage any relationships. And they're the people that, like I said, want you to succeed. So, anything else?
I think one thing that, in your story you talk about, it's the kids. We want the kids to be able to go. In our case, you look at any of the projects that we've done, and any one of them could have been fundraised for. And if in September I can figure out exactly what projects we'll be doing,
yeah,
then that's a much more compelling ask than, can you donate to us?
And I think, too, that people know that you're not just going to ask them for money if it's not something you've done in the past. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not someone that's gone even, like, $20, like, every week of your life, like, they know that, like, you're asking because it means something to you, or, like, there's a compelling reason why you're asking. So that's kind of, yeah, my 2 cents on that. And then the last part was like, we go to Africa and we encourage Tanzanians to set goals and achieve them so they can gain the things in the mission statement, economic stability for their families, communities, and nations. And so we have to do the same. Like, we have goals set for fundraising, we have a timeline made up, and now it's up to us to like achieve it. We can't expect other people to do what we're not doing. And if we're asking them to go out and market themselves, then we have to go out and market ourselves as Marafiki. We have to gain revenue just like they do. So that's kind of my last thought. If there are questions or suggestions,